Hey crafty friends, this is Denise with PaperKraftD. Welcome to my 100-day project video series where I finish one quick paper crafting project every day for 100 days. So today I'd like to do something a little different for the 100-day project. And I'd like to do this every Saturday. As I had stated up front, I am going to do a make every Monday through Friday. So if you've missed any of the videos in this series, please check out the playlist that I'll have at the very end of this video, as well as in the description box below. And on Saturday, I'm going to recap and reflect on the week. All right. And I just wanted to point out that I'm going to continue making throughout the 100 days. But if I don't get a lot of views and engagement on my video channel, I may just do this video every week and post it on a Saturday rather than do a daily video. Because like I said, it's very time consuming to edit videos and to post them. There's a lot of steps involved in that. And, you know, it takes away from crafting time. I'm going to be doing this every week and seeing kind of what the engagement is, kind of what, where I'm at, and, you know, how my time is best spent. With that stated, I just want to go very quickly over what we've done this week. Okay, so day one of the 100-day project, I put together and assembled this planner card box. And I gave you some tips and tricks for doing that. And I also did an overview of my goals and my plan for the 100-day project. Okay, on day two, it was a pretty long video and I decorated this. So you can see I, you know, went ahead and did a lot of painting and mark making inside the box, which I really love the way that turned out. I think it's really, really pretty. Yeah. So it just has a lot of interest, I think. And then I did, I added some antique railroad ledger to the sides all around. And then I added a couple die cuts. And this is just, you know, to repeat this theme on all four sides of the box to kind of, you know, have some cohesiveness. Did some stamping. And then I sealed the whole thing with matte medium. Okay, I did that off camera. I didn't show you that part of the process, but it was very straightforward. You saw the rest of it. Okay, day two, I used a junk mail envelope to create this little cute little card that goes in here. I first cut the envelope so it would, you know, I wouldn't have to collage the entire envelope, just the portion that I was going to be using. And I didn't worry about whether this window was large enough or not. This was a window envelope. I did the collaging and I kind of had to deconstruct it in order to do that. And then I was very impatient and I had to continue videoing and it was getting kind of dark, so I wanted to keep going. So I put it in the oven and the cellophane melted a little bit and it kind of made it kind of weird. So I had to take that out. So if you do not put it in the oven, you should be just fine. You should be able to use the envelope intact. Now, I kind of made lemonade out of lemons because I was able to then add this lace instead of the cellophane, which I really like. and it kind of opens to the side here for this little tag. And I really like that. It has a place where you could put a photo and maybe a couple photos or photo and journaling. This has a little, I kept the flap from the envelope. I did trim it a little bit, and I did sewing around all of the edges. And then it has a place for journaling. So photos and journaling, which I love. Couldn't be better. See, I have to do this in order, I think. I'm putting it back together, but you can see what this looks like. I added a book page to the back, and I just did some general collaging with a lot of different papers, and I really love it. I also love stitching, but you don't have to stitch on this. It's not absolutely necessary. Okay, so, but I really am happy with the way this one turned out. Okay. The one thing that I did off camera that I don't think I captured in the video is I added a little paper clip. This is one of those little Tim Holtz paper clips. And I just used that to kind of keep it closed. So I really like that. I'll put that in there. Fits perfectly. So that was day 3. This is day 4. On day 4, I took a technique that Michelle from the Creative Cove did a tutorial on her YouTube channel, and I'll post a link to that in the description box below. And she, you know, it was really a lot of fun. She freehand drew flowers and then used some stamping inside of it, and then did kind of a frame with stamping, and then did some inking to make the background a little darker, and had some, add some interest to it. So this was my version of it. She didn't use colored ink. She just used like a neutral ink, and all of hers were very neutral. But I just, kind of made it my own and did my own thing. And I really love the way this turned out. I'm really, really pleased with it. Now, a couple things that I did not mention when I did this video. I do not freehand. Actually, I mentioned that. I'm not very good at freehand drawing. So I traced this on my iPad. Now, if you don't have an iPad, or you don't feel comfortable with your iPad, or you just don't want to bother with the iPad, I fully understand. You could do the same kind of thing with like a magazine or some tracing paper or some vellum. Just, if you have photos, you could use photos. If you have a magazine, you could use a magazine. The only thing that's a little bit more tricky is that you can't zoom into the picture and then, trace around it that way. You have to just trace whatever the picture is that you've got there, but that's fine. So, if you have a magazine picture, for example, so say you have a book like this or a magazine that has flowers that you enjoy, all you need to do is take a piece of tracing paper, and I just got these at Daiso, so $1.75 for 20. But you can get them lots of different places, right? This tracing paper should be able to find it pretty much anywhere, I think, that you want to look. And you just lay it over the top like this, and you do the same thing. You just start tracing. As a matter of fact, with this, you could probably even use a pencil. Would probably be just fine. And that way, if you don't feel comfortable with it, you could very carefully go back and erase it. So like you just start drawing, right? And then once you've drawn it the way that you want it, you take this paper, scan it on your printer, or you can take it to Kinko's and have it scanned there, and then you can resize it to whatever size you want, and you can print it out on paper or cardstock or something like that will more readily take the mediums that you would use with this technique right here. So a lot of inks and stuff like that. Like this wouldn't be good for, doing stamping and inking and things like that. You definitely have to scan this and then, or find some way to transfer it to another piece of paper, scan it, and then you can resize it to whatever size you want. So if you don't have a flower that's quite this big, then, you know, you can still trace it, and then once you scan it, it's digitized, you can make it as big as you need it to do the stamping technique that we did here. Okay, so that's kind of just another way that you can adapt that technique if you don't have an iPad or you just don't want to use it. Okay. Okay, so that was day 4. And then day 5, we took ugly paper. In my case, it was book pages from an old vintage Reader's Digest book. But your ugly paper could be anything. It could be scrapbook paper that you don't like. It could be misprints from digital kits that you've printed. It could be magazine pages again. Just think outside the box. Any colorful images that you won't use for whatever reason, but are hesitant to trash. So then we with that used these very nice lacy types of dies on them. And then it doesn't matter what the subject matter is of the illustration, you're just getting the colors, right? I mean, you can't tell what this was a picture of. You just know that it has really beautiful colors in it, right? Same with this one. Really gorgeous colors that has just subtle variations and interest. Same with this one. Okay, and then we just made a few really quick clusters just to show that you can make some really gorgeous ephemera from these old ugly papers that you've been kind of holding on to and don't quite know what to do with, but don't really want to get rid of them. Okay, and you know, you can see we made a whole mess of these, and they're not all butterflies. You know, some of them are like this, and some of them are you know, this little flower die, really, really pretty. Okay, so lots of wonderful options. Okay, this is what I created this week. Okay, and now I'd like to reflect a little bit on how the week went and kind of my feelings about it and what I feel like I've accomplished. Okay, so, and while I talk through this with you, I'm going to show you some close-up photos of all these projects. Okay, so you have something to look at while I'm just talking. Okay, so I definitely feel like I've accomplished some of my goals for doing this project, but not others. I feel like I've made a good start at making a habit of practicing my craft every day. However, I feel like the sharing on social media component has been mixed. First of all, I want to get back to why I want to share my progress on social media. It isn't to show off my work, though, you know, positive reinforcement and encouragement is always appreciated. Really, it's to build community and to begin an ongoing conversation with you, with our creative community about paper crafting, art, and the creative process. To that end, I feel like I've only been marginally successful. I have posted daily, which for me is Monday through Friday on YouTube. The 100-day project this year began on a Sunday, so I posted my first video then rather than on Monday, even though I intend to take weekends off. I want to thank Belinda Zimmer for bringing to my attention that I accidentally left a voiceover recording on top of the video audio at about the 20-minute mark on that video. I researched it, and unfortunately I can't edit that out without cutting out the video segment as well. Hopefully that won't turn you off to this series. Let me know what you think. Should I delete that entire minute of footage in my day 1 video? Is it really that disruptive, or is showing the entire assembly of the planner card box more important despite that snafu? All right, so additionally, this was the week of technical difficulties. My day 2 video got corrupted somehow. I had long segments of that video with just a green screen and my voice. I didn't notice that until Femke Nielsen brought it to my attention, so thank you. I really appreciate that. I ended up having to delete that video and completely redo it. And I didn't have to videotape it, but I did have to download it from my computer and then re-upload it to YouTube. And because it was in 4K, which I am never going to film in again because it was, my computer is just too old to really deal with it properly. It took forever. Okay, so that was really stressful and it was time consuming, and that's why there wasn't a video that was posted Monday. I had hoped to have the corrected day 2 video ready by Tuesday, but it just wasn't. It was taking, I had downloaded a couple times and it wasn't uploading, and anyway, my computer kept crashing. Lots of technical problems. So I ended up posting it on Wednesday. Tuesday, I felt like I needed to post something, so I posted day 3. So those 2 days are flip-flopped now. So day 3 comes before day 2. So I hope that's not too confusing for people. And then Wednesday I posted day 4, and Friday I posted day 5. All right, so things might be a little mixed up in the playlist because the default in the playlist is to play the videos in the order that they were uploaded. So I really apologize for that. If I can figure out a way to edit the playlist to play in the correct order, I will. But for now, day 2 and day 3 are switched. All right, so with all that going on, I was pretty happy that I was able to even post a couple times in some Facebook groups, but I didn't post on Instagram at all. Looking back on week 1, I had hoped for more views and more community engagement, but I guess I really need to work on that for it to happen. That's why I want to start acknowledging some viewers who commented on my videos at the beginning of every new video in this series, and I'll start doing that come Monday. If it flows, I'll also try to ask some questions of the community that relate to paper crafting and the creative process to stimulate some discussion rather than just a yes or no answer to a question that I'm asking you to comment on in the description box. Let me know what you think of these ideas, and if you have any other suggestions that might help grow this community, I'd really, really appreciate that. My videos in general were pretty long and required a lot of editing. I don't think that's going to be very sustainable for me going forward. I can never seem to do a project in less than 2 hours. That means that every video requires at least 2 hours of editing just to rewatch it and to edit it down to something less than an hour, which is the ideal. Usually it takes closer to 3 or 4 hours or more to edit a single video. So I either need to make my projects simpler or find a way of doing less editing. Okay, so with all of that said, I do feel like this has been a success, and I'm going to keep going. For now, I am going to go ahead and do another week of daily videos, but I am going to take it week by week. If it just becomes too much or too overwhelming, and I'm not really getting a lot of views and people aren't really engaging, then I might just scale it back to this recap video, this once a week recap video. So let me know what you think about that. So this Card Lab collection, which is a whole set of the boxes, the dies, and a bunch of stamps that go with this, is currently available at your local craft store. Oh my goodness. And will be available on the Elizabeth Craft Design website beginning Wednesday, March 5th. Now, if you do see things that you like in any of my videos, I hope that you will use my affiliate link, which is at the very end of this video. and every video and also in the description box below. I'll leave the link there as well. Okay, so if you don't have this box, does that mean that you're not going to get anything out of my videos? No, of course not. I am doing techniques and ideas, and other than decoupaging this box and assembling it, all the rest of the videos are going to be things that you could adapt to just about anything. Like, you know, you can use this technique on a tag, on a journaling spot, on anything like that. This, converting envelopes, you could make this into a tuck spot or a journaling spot that you then stick into a journal. There's all sorts of different ways you can use the things that I'm sharing with you. And I'm going to focus more on techniques and composition and things like that, rather than just a single product. If you enjoyed today's video, please give this a thumbs up, leave me a comment. I really would love to hear what you're doing and what your plans are for the 100-day project. And if you haven't yet subscribed and you enjoy this kind of content, I hope that you do so and that you share my channel with your friends. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. Again, this is Denise with PaperKraftD, and craft on.